Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to go over the London Silver Bullet for Monday, October 16th. So before the 3 o'clock hour, let's say what some of these lines are. This is the new week opening gap right here, these two lines, and then there's another new week opening gap from October 15th. And then this is the New York Midnight Open, okay? So let's open the Kraken Silver Bullet Pro indicator. I highly suggest if you are trading the Silver Bullet hours that you get this indicator. You can find the description below. It's a one-time purchase and it's very affordable. So all my videos will be using this indicator to show you where the draw on liquidity is. So what we're doing here is we're trying to find out, what is the draw on liquidity? Where is price going, right? So at London, I always start with the Asian range, right? And that is 8 o'clock to midnight, the Asian range. So you'll see that this plots that right here, the Asian range, high and the Asian low, and it gives you the price right here and right here, right? You can turn off the top line, the high line if you want, it'll disappear, the price will stay. So it's a very good indicator to have, and it'll tell you where these are. You can also change the times. These are that way because of the way coding works, to show the proper time from 20 to midnight. That's what you need to have because the 11:59 candle ends at midnight. So we want to show it that candle versus the midnight to 12:01 a.m. candle, which is the 12 o'clock candle. So that's why these got changed, but it is showing this range, all right? So we obviously just took out the Asia high, which for me tells me if I see a market structure shift here, then we're going to be targeting the Asia low, maybe even this major low here, and you got some new week opening gap lines to come through as well. So that's what I'd be doing with this. I already have previous day high and low on, but it's not in this range. The previous week high is turned on, so it's not in this range either. The indicator also has new week opening gaps. I can show you new day opening gaps. All the kill zones, we actually have more kill zones here. Central bank dealing range now, and have an extra kill zone for you if you want to have it shaded. You can all set your times, so now this works with 8cap and Pepperstone and any other broker or symbol because you can change the times and the GMT time as well. So same thing with the Silver Bullet hours. We added the 7 to 8:30. You have two extra ones here, and then we have a whole bunch of extra lines coming as well with times that you get to select. So that's the next update. We can show fair value gaps, show balanced price ranges, show order blocks and breaker blocks. We have 10 macros that you can show here. I can highlight. Let's just highlight these just for fun. Let's just show these macros here on this video. And then let's also show the power of 3 candle here. So there you go. That's the Kraken Silver Bullet indicator, and it's extremely affordable. You can get it in the description of the video. Go to www.ictkraken.com. Okay, so now we have this in here. Our macro just started, which is highlighted in green. Okay, and we just took out the Asia high, right? This is the last full hour. So that is from, 1 to 2, okay? And this is the, 2 to almost 3, okay? I haven't actually clicked over yet. When I click over, these will change. So let's just do that now. I'll show you. See how they just changed? So now this first candle here is now 2 to 3, and this is the start of the Silver Bullet candle, okay? And it's giving you your opening price, the low, and the current price. You don't have a closing price, so this will adjust as we click along here, okay? To go lower, I already see this as a market structure shift right here. So for me, that's a market structure shift. Obviously just filled in right there. Okay. We're going to go candle by candle, and I'll buy and sell down here. Now you can see this being painted as you're going in real time, so it's going to show the last 2 hours, the last full hour, and then the current hour. So ideally, if we want to go short, we wanted to see an open, we want to see a high, and then we want to see a low, and then close somewhere down lower, right? So that's what we're ideally trying to shoot for here. So we opened here. Now we're going a little bit higher. If this was going to be a bearish candle, we want it to come down here and then close somewhere down by the low. Okay, so open, high, low, close. All right, so for me, that's another market structure shift right there. This obviously took out the high, so now I'm saying that'd be a new market structure shift there. Okay, and here, what else do we see here? We see that here's a breaker block, right? So we got a high, a low, a higher high, and now we broke through. So now this is a breaker block. Let me just move these over. Let me move this over a little bit. You can, well, you'll see it in just a second. It'll slide over. So this is a breaker block, okay? And we have a fair value gap right here as well. So now we have a fair value gap inside a breaker, or a breaker inside a fair value gap rather. So if we comes back in here, I'm going to take that trade and I'm going to target the Asia low, and then probably this low down here. This is the last hour, so I'd like to see, ideally you want to see a high, a candle break through the last hour. It's always good to see, and if you're going lower, we want to see it break through. If we're going to go higher, we'd like to see it break through the previous hour. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. So if it comes back up in there, I'm going to sell 2 contracts. All right, that didn't end there. I really want to see a candle close somewhere up there because it's trading view, and I got to, if this candle went up and hit it, it would have took me in as a limit order. But right now, because I'm in trading view, I would have bought right here, or sold right here, which that sucks. So, I'm not going to do that. Okay, that will sell me short right there. 2 contracts. That makes this a unicorn entry because there's 2 PD arrays, right? I'm going to sell there, and I'll put my short position there where we got in. And where am I targeting? Like I said, I'm going to target this drawn liquidity, and I put my stop above the first candle of the fair value gap. A fair value gap is a 1, 2, 3 candle pattern. Stop goes 1 tick above the first candle. All right, now if I targeted just this, just the Asia low, that's 5 points right there. Okay, I'm actually targeting 9 points. I like round even numbers. I don't know why. I wish I wouldn't be so OCD about that. But that just is what it is. I like even numbers. All right, so where would I take my partials? Well, 60%, so it'd be somewhere in here. Honestly, I'm trying not to take partials as much in my trades. I'm trying to trail my stop instead, because I actually back tested it, and you actually make more money when you trail your stop versus take partials. But everyone's different, so I'm just kind of testing it out. So right now, I'm not going to take a partial here. I'm just going to show you what it would be if you got it in full pull. So I may end up just start doing ones if I don't take a partial in my videos for full pulls. But it's a work in progress. When you're a live trader, you always have things to work on. So my exits are one of mine that I continuously work on. So. All right, so there we would have, if we had our stop at our 5, right there, we would have, well, I think we would have been tagged in. There we would have been tagged in, right? So we were actually here. So there's your first 5. We could have easily got 5 and out. If you're 5 a day, you got it right there. Just targeting this, took out Asia high. Where are we targeting? Get in on a 2022 mentorship model. We got in, and you targeted the Asia low. Liquidity taken. Displacement, market structure shift, that's right, then you have displacement and fair value gap. Enter your trade, you're short and aiming for the liquidity down here, and you got it. So could have been a great trade there. We're at the new week opening gap. A lot of times you have a lot of in between these two, or at this opening gap, new week opening gap. So you have a lot of congestion in here a lot of times. So you usually see a nice pullback on these. So okay, I like it. Just like that. You kind of get a nice response. Look at that. Look at that. From right there. I'm wondering if I pulled the fib from this high right here. No, that's there. Let's see if we go from here, where we're at. Where'd it go? If you pulled the fib from the high to low right here, just want to see where it's at right now. It's at the 62 retracement level. I'm gonna take this off. It's an optimal trade entry to still go short right now. If it takes me out over here, then I guess I'm taking out. That's the downfall with not taking partials. Would have taken a partial, would have had one. I probably would have broke even right here. And so yeah, that's the thing that I'm battling live nowadays is that. So we shall see. Trying to be more consistent and stick with my bias and my trades longer is something that everyone works on, and if they're being honest as a trader, that they always work on. It's their psyche that usually hinders them from holding them, and that's one that I don't like to lose money, and so that's just being honest. Nobody does, so that's just something that I continuously work on. So now in this instance, like here, I probably would have trailed my stop like above this high over here. I don't know if I would have gone that low though, to be perfectly honest. I like to let them run a little bit more, but it probably would have been up here. Normally, if I would have taken my partials, would have taken my partial here, and this would have stopped me out at break even. Love seeing that. I love seeing gaps like that. That's really good, really nice. All right, let's flatten. All right. Okay. I want to show you. So you see this candle where we had open, high, a low, and now we're going to see in the next 10 minutes where we close here. Here starts the next macro. Here's that macro right there. I usually turn the macros on at the end of the day and just kind of see what they're doing and using and go that way versus what time is it? Okay, that's the end of this candle. The next candle, this will change. So we had open, high, a low, and then a close down towards the end. So that's why it's a bearish candle. Okay, and what do we do that time during this hour? We opened, we went higher, then we went all the way down to the low, and then we ended up here. So when I have these on is because I like seeing, I want to see how this forms and see the bigger picture. So when I see this candle, I know what happened. It started, it went up, and it did this. Like in my head, I want to see this price action when I look at this. Okay. So when I turn this to the next one, there you go. Okay. All right, so let's turn off a few things here that are just a little in the way. Let's go down to get the macros off, because those are kind of hard to see things. Okay. All right, so let's recap here. Before we started, we pulled the Kraken silver bullet indicator up and we marked out our draws on liquidity, right? We're at start of London, so we turned on the Asia session first, and we saw that the Asia high was just taken. So automatically we're thinking, okay, we took out the high. If we see a market structure shift, we're aiming for the Asia low. That's our target. That's our draw on liquidity, right? So we had these marked on our chart. We also saw that there's a major swing point down here, a low, that could have also been a nice draw on liquidity as well. So we're like, okay, and it was the previous hour low, or 2 hours ago, the low. So we have our targets, our first target and then our second target. What did we get at 3 o'clock hour? We get a market structure shift, leaving behind a breaker block and a fair value gap. Price came up and we took our trade. That is a unicorn entry. Okay, price came down. Had we took partials, this would have probably came back up and took us out at break even with a partial, but we decided to hold our trade and, you know, leave it running, let it go. It either takes us out or bust. And this was optimal trade entry and came back down and took us out at this low draw liquidity here. We observed the power of 3 candles to observe open, high, low, close, and that's exactly how these candles painted, the power of 3 painted for the silver bullet hour. So that is your London silver bullet trade setup for Monday, October 16th.